we're going to do this, but we're going to do it our way.
You bought a robot, baby?
Wow, that was a joke grenade. That took me a second. Imagine the poop emoji as furniture.
It's weird that we didn't do that 10 minutes ago.
We should have started that before, you know. That makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't we do that?
Too late now.
Matt, you forgot to disclaimer this part. We're old, and we remember how it used to be. There, go. And it was better then, too. You got to put that in there. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
While you guys are weaving belts, I'm going to sing this little tune that I wrote.
We think we're funny. On with the show.
This is XRadioX.
Well, good evening, everybody. Or good morning, depending on when you are listening to this. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore, Matt, but it is XRadioX.
Welcome.
Do you know what episode we're on? I don't know.
I think we're like on 45-ish. 44-ish?
We'll say that we're 44, 45.
If we had a computer that could keep track for us.
Yes.
And then that would be something that maybe would be a useful use of a computer. But that's kind of on the topic, actually.
Yeah, that is so I'm told that is the topic of today.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is I've been thinking a lot about this and in the way that it reflects on music and radio, because we love talking about radio. And I've been thinking a lot. You have an Alexa, right?
I do. I have 1, 2, 3 of them.
Yeah, so we have several. We're very used to asking her questions and asking her to play music. And one of the things I noticed about doing that on the regular is that I call her a she. It's not a gender.
I was like, that's very sexist of you, sir. Is it just because she, in quotes, does things for you? Is that why you call Alexis that? You're assuming it's gender?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, so when you ask your tiny robot, which is what we call it around the house so that she doesn't eavesdrop on our conversations, but I think
we do that too. That's because of you, by the way. We also call ours tiny robot.
When we have our tiny robot play music, sometimes she listens to what we say, and sometimes she plays the song. Sometimes she'll shoot us down and play something that sounds similar to what we asked for. And depending on if she used Spotify or if she used Amazon Music or whatever it might be, then that program will then extrapolate by use of some sort of formula what music that they want to play in addition to the song or artist that we suggested. And in the guise of being helpful, it is computers guiding us into what we listen to.
Yes. Welcome to the algorithm.
Weird. I know. And so this algorithm now, instead of a DJ or instead of even really a program director, it is a computer looking at ones and zeros and saying, this series of ones and zeros, I think, sounds similar to that series of ones and zeros. And so I'm going to make this chain of ones and zeros for you to listen to. And you'll probably get why I picked each of these songs. It's weird how good it is. That's one of the things. Like it's spooky how it can do what it does. Don't you think?
Yeah, it is a little bit spooky, but that's how databases work. When you everything is a database and everything is based on columns and rows of names and titles and descriptions, and now they can even suck all of the musical information out of it and compare it to other songs. It doesn't even really need the database anymore. It just sucks all the lyrics and music out, and it measures them against other songs, and now it says, we know better than you. You'll enjoy this.
And that's the part that creeps me out, because now it doesn't just say, okay, this is an artist and this is another song by that artist, or this is a song that has the word sunshine in it, so here are a bunch of other songs that have sunshine. It's actually somehow transmitting the data of the beats and the tones and the sounds and the vocals and finding other music that has similar qualities. And I am scared that computers can do that, frankly.
No, what you're scared of is that one day you're going to be listening to, I don't know, Cake's The Distance, because I know you like Cake, so I'm just using that band.
Mhm.
And somewhere down the line, it's going to read an article from the mid-90s that somebody in Cake liked Slayer. And then it's going to play a Slayer song for you. You're going to be like, damn it, it was right. I do like Slayer. And then that's what you're afraid of. You're afraid that the computer does know what you want.
All right. And there's the element of that as well. I'm not going to disagree with you.
I'm
but it's
afraid I'm going to
weird.
like Slayer.
So
Says Matt,
the
not
computers
Jace.
the computers are getting smarter. They are starting to read our thoughts. I think that's what I'm taking from this. They're starting to read our minds. They are starting to know what we want more than we do, in a way. And
they're starting to know what you want because of unconscious things that you do, and you don't even realize you're doing it, saying it, typing it in, or clicking on it and viewing it. Like you're randomly clicking on stuff, thinking you know what you're clicking on, but it's base instincts and different things that are going on in your brain. Your reptile brain is making you want to do stuff, and the internet collects all that information. Don't let anybody lie to you and say, oh, this is safe mode and this is this mode. It's all out there, and they're saving all of it.
Right. Okay. So we've got that. We've got computers who are picking music for us.
Yep.
Now we've got the ability to have, obviously we've had this for a while, but computers writing scripts of dialogue or even recording dialogue, so that we have the music being picked by computers. We have talking that can be done by computers. We have a program director that can be a computer. So is there a benefit, after all these episodes of our podcast that we've talked about humans being important and local and talking about real things so that people can make that connection, is that a viable model in radio anymore? Or is it better because they're smart enough to just have a computer do everything? Jace, answer this for me.
So if you are going to just have a jukebox, which is really what most radio stations are anymore, they're pre-programmed. It comes down from the mothership, whatever giant conglomerate owns your cluster of stations. It is decided outside of your market. If you're a hot AC station, these are the 100 songs that are allowed to be on your station. So it's already kind of been decided, and it comes down to you at local, radio station somewhere USA, and it says, hey, local one person running the station, maybe two if you have a local morning show, here's your 100 songs, but these are the 30 you have to play, and this is when you have to play them, and this is the times of days they get played, and it gets played once every 65 minutes because this is when our listener turnover goes. So what I'm getting at by saying all of that is, technically, the way most music stations are run these days, especially in mid to small markets, no, they don't necessarily need nor care if they have somebody there running the board, running the controls, telling you the weather, telling you what's going on in local news, because what they'll do is they'll have that one person who works in 6 different stations there, and they'll make sure that they're in different, listening groups. And they'll have you, disc jockey, cut a liner for this one, or not a liner, but a spot. Here's the top of the hour. Here's 15. Here's 20. Here's 30. And here's 45. And you will do that for 6 different stations in your cluster. And you will do it with a little bit of a different name. If you're really good, you'll do it with a little bit of a different accent or tone in your voice. And that's what they do now.
Yeah.
Now there are some groups that are hiring local people to do it. I don't know how good it's going for them, but I know that they're out there, but it's not like it used to be. If you want, you can't just rely on music anymore, because people don't listen generally. This is just Jay speaking. People aren't tuning in, especially anybody younger than probably the age of 30, tuning into a radio station to go, hey, what's the new thing? They're listening. They're finding it on TikTok.
Damn it,
that's
TikTok.
Where a vast majority. Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have Sirius XM?
No, I don't.
So we just bought a car, and it comes with X amount of time of Sirius XM. And I will tell you what, I love Sirius XM.
Okay.
All kinds of radio stations. They do have disc jockeys. I know that a lot of them go from station to station, but you still get a little bit of that person. At least I think they're people But one of the stations is literally called TikTok Radio.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. So they have made a station, which is essentially a playlist, out of songs made famous on TikTok.
Okay, so Jace, let me stop you right there and tell you exactly what I'm hearing from what you are saying. There was a time when radio used a computer as a tool to produce radio for the masses. And now the computers are going to use one or two humans as tools to accomplish the parts of their programming that they can't physically do themselves. So now the computers are in charge and the people are the tools that just sit there and record voices, which now that we have ChatGPT, now that we have things that can mimic a human voice, we are no longer a necessary tool in the process.
No, it's getting, I
Damn
see
it.
where you're going on this road, and it is getting to the point where non-humans can mimic us well enough if we give them the scripts.
Yeah.
And you technically probably wouldn't need one of us to run a music station anymore. You could probably have multiple people on that station, and it wouldn't matter if they're human because it's getting that good.
And also to the point that you were mentioning about recording spots, I know several people who are business professionals who use ChatGPT on the daily to write their scripts, to write letters to vendors or to different contractors to make sure that they're professional and they, have all the content they want and they're succinct and they sound, intelligent. And so rather than say, dear Mr. Contractor, I would like to assign this project for you. And they just say, ChatGPT, write a letter, address it to this contractor's name, and say XYZ and make it really fancy and go. And then ChatGPT is like, I'm going to start calling it Chatty just because it's hard to say
Chatty.
ChatGPT. Chatty says, all right, here we go. Bloop. And it takes a few seconds, spits out a very nice letter. So if you said, hey, I want to write a 30-second spot, I want it to be exactly 30 seconds. Actually, I want it to be 28 seconds. So we have intro music, outro music. I want it to be 28 seconds of speech. I want it to talk about Public Service Garage. And I want it to be, mentioning that we rotate your tires. Go. And then
Public Service Garage, is that a real place?
Well, it used to be. I don't know if it's still around. It was in Marquette. Anyway, And then Chatty just says, here we go. Boom. And it's done. Like, I have been dabbling with ChatGPT. Okay. I have to admit. And I do strongly believe I would never use it for any purposes I wanted to take credit for. But when you are just playing around with it as a tool for how smart it is scary. In fact, before we get any further, I had ChatGPT write our disclaimer.
Awesome, because I just had ChatGPT write a 30-second radio spot for us. So go.
All right, so here's our disclaimer thanks to Chatty. Welcome to XRadioX, the podcast where we aim to bring you fun, informative, and entertaining content. Before you dive into our episodes, we want to make sure that our young listeners and their guardians are aware of the following. By the way, I just said write a disclaimer and mentioned we use bad words. Language alert. Our podcast, hosted by two dynamic individuals, occasionally includes strong language. While we strive to keep the content lively and engaging, some episodes may feature explicit words such as damn, hell, and crap. We want to ensure that parents and guardians are aware of this before allowing young listeners to tune in. Despite the use of occasional strong language, XRadioX is dedicated to delivering an entertaining and informative experience. Our discussions cover a wide range of topics with enthusiasm, humor, and a commitment to providing valuable insights. We appreciate your understanding and hope you enjoy the show while keeping this in mind. Thank you for listening to XRadioX.
Two things come to mind.
What the damn hell crap was that?
Maybe three things come to mind. First off, anybody who knows either you or me, has met us and talked to us for under 5 minutes would know that would never come out of either one of our mouths, or would we ever write it.
It's way more professional.
It's way too professional. It's way too long. Neither one of us care that much whether your kid is offended by us saying fuck or shit. Why? No. Because I say that around my own house.
There you go. And I didn't tell it to specify which words we would use. It just chose damn, hell, and crap.
Which we probably use those the least out of any of the bad words.
This ChatGPT is scary.
Well, hold on.
me.
And the other thing it made me think of when
Yeah.
you read that, I'm like, did ChatGPT write that? Or did a lawyer write that? That literally sounds
There you
like
go.
something a lawyer would write. Here's a
Yeah.
disclaimer for you to cover everything we could possibly have an issue with. That's what
was
a lawyer's going to write.
It was a very official disclaimer to cover our asses if there's a lawsuit. So, I mean, to cover our damn hell craps if there's a lawsuit.
Yes.
So
Our damn hell craps.
thank you, Chatty. So anyway, I had her, Chatty, describe you and I.
Oh, no.
For you, I said, describe Jace the Ace and mention that he has salt and pepper hair. Okay. That's all I said. I didn't give them any other information. All right. Jace the Ace is the embodiment of timeless charisma and effortless cool. With a mane of distinguished salt and pepper hair that adds a touch of silver sophistication, he exudes an air of refined elegance and rugged charm. His presence commands attention like a vintage jazz tune. Every strand, they really went for it. Every strand of his graying hair tells tales of adventures and wisdom. Jace's personality sparkles with the same brilliance as his hair, blending a youthful zest for life with the seasoned grace of someone who's seen it all. He's the kind of individual whose very essence turns every moment into a memorable experience, proving that true style only improves with age.
I take back everything I said about ChatGPT. It nailed me correctly.
She's got you. Like, she
got me.
Really. Unless she knows you, like maybe she does.
I mean, that is exactly what a human or a computer would write about a guy who is talking to another guy, a quarter of the way across the United States while wearing a shirt that has people throwing discus and shot put because his kids are in the track and field team, and has a NASCAR hat on currently.
Yeah.
That's what they would write about a person like that.
Yeah, I think she nailed it. So to describe me, I basically said, describe Matt and make sure you mention David Bryan.
Hold on. Yeah, you don't have gray hair, so I guess we can't use that qualifier.
I had to do something. So she said, Matt is a vibrant whirlwind of creativity and flair, a dynamic presence reminiscent of a rock concert's electrifying energy. Oh, I put Matt and then Proof Rock in parentheses because I wanted to give her a little more information. With a name that echoes the literary sophistication of T.S. Eliot's renowned character, he blends intellectual depth with an exuberant zest for life. His charisma shines as brightly as David Bryan's iconic keyboards in a Bon Jovi anthem, adding a distinct rhythm and flair to every endeavor. Just as Bryan's artistry transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, Proof Rock's essence is a mosaic of vivid passions and bold ideas, turning every interaction into an unforgettable experience. His infectious enthusiasm and artistic brilliance make him a standout star, echoing the transformative magic of a true rock and roll maestro.
Wow. You could have at least told ChatGPT I play guitar.
She's good.
At least you got David Bryan. I got gray hair. Thanks, ass.
I feel like she was very complimentary to both of us.
She was. Yes. ChatGPT does know us very well, it seems like.
So, okay. So the thing is, so we've got the Alexa, we've got Tiny Robot, we have AI, we have ChatGPT. We now have, over the last couple years, and I'm sure you've heard these if you haven't, that there are new songs being generated by artists that are dead. So AI has now the ability to take a deceased artist's vocals.
Is this the Beatles thing?
I am going to mention the Beatles, but there's so many more. So one of them
is that?
Yeah, there's so many. So like the Beatles used back in 95 when the anthologies came out, they had a demo of the song Now and Then that John Lennon recorded, and it was on a cassette, and they couldn't really they just basically played it as is because they couldn't really do anything with it. But in the last couple of years, in 2022, they had the technology to separate. They basically told a computer, this is what John Lennon sounds like. This is what a guitar sounds like. Separate those two noises from this audio cassette, and AI was like, yeah, that sounds good. Boom, and did it. So then they re-recorded their stuff on top of it. And that's how Now and Then, that song that came out, I want to say it came out in 2023 maybe. But
a couple of years ago, I think. Year or two ago.
That's how they did that. They took an old cassette and AI separated the two things, and then they recorded new, music, new instrumentation, new vocals, but it was John's voice, and they were able to do another Beatles song. But not only that, so there's an organization called Over the Bridge. They're a nonprofit mental health organization. They made an online thing. It's called the Lost Tapes of the 27 Club. Have you heard about this?
No, I'm interested in this podcast that you're doing with me along in it, because I don't know any of this. I knew the Beatles thing, but this I don't know about.
So Over the Bridge used two different AIs. They used one AI that's designed specifically to write lyrics to songs. And then they used another AI that is specifically designed to mimic voices. And they fed, the 27 Club are all those artists that died at 27.
Kurt Cobain, Janis
Amy
Joplin,
Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain.
Jimi Hendrix, yeah.
Yeah. So they made new songs for all of those artists. And a couple of them are really good. Like, it's creepy. But you can check it out on the internet. The Lost Tapes of the 27 Club, and Over the Bridge has a website too. You can look at that. But they have at least captured the tone and the style, and the Amy Winehouse one's really good. The Nirvana one's a little weird, because I think with Kurt Cobain's voice, it's hard to really mimic that. Like, it's very tonally, it's different. But anyway, so that one's a little weird. But the song structure is very similar to a Nirvana song. The Jimi Hendrix one is weird. The guitar is amazing. But it's so strange that two computers got together and made music that sounds like these long dead or recently dead artists. It's very strange. I don't know what to make of it, because that opens up a whole different can of worms about, could those songs be on the radio? Could you have a computer programming songs made by computer with computer generated commercials in between and literally no people involved?
Well, what made me even think of more, because I have to deal with things like this at work from time to time, is if you had two computers get together and,
make
do
babies.
what computers do when they get together, and they mimic, somebody from the 27 Club, or even somebody who's alive, for crying out loud, and they create a new song out of it.
Yeah.
Who owns that copyright? Who owns that song?
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough to get copyright permission from actual alive people and lawyers and companies that own this music. Now, if we have computers doing it, is it the person who owns a computer, the person who wrote the program, the person who programmed the program to make it do all of the things, or is it the copyright holders that you're mimicking or sampling? Somebody could make an argument to get that sound.
But if it's, exactly. So if it's a new song, it's not a cover. And if it's a new artist who happens to be a robot who just mimics someone's voice, we've had real artists mimic other people's voices and make music. I mean,
there was actually, I don't have the specifics, and I might even have part of this wrong, because I read this was in passing a couple weeks ago. So there's an artist out there, and I know Matt is just loves him. He goes by the moniker of Young Gravy.
Ugh.
I knew. I was waiting. I was like, oh, he's going to love this. He's going to
Please tell me he's a robot.
He is not. He's from Minnesota, so he is definitely not a robot. He had a song called, I believe it was Betty Get Money or something like that, where it sounded like Rick Astley. He was sampling Rick Astley, but he wasn't.
Right.
It was, I want to say it was one of his co-writers was doing a really good impersonation of, or something along those lines. So there was a big lawsuit about it. I believe they settled out of court. So I don't know. I could probably use one of these computers in front of me to find it out. But yet this was kind of along those lines, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So is it technically using that person's, like, would the estate of Jimi Hendrix be able to claim, well, you used, if they say they released the song and put it out on radio and they said, this is a Jimi Hendrix tribute from AI Robot 6.239-4, and it's called this, would they have any leg to stand on to say, well, you stole from Jimi Hendrix? I mean, we appreciate his music, we respect it, and we modeled our style after him almost to a ridiculous degree. But are they really stealing? It's a tough one. They're definitely sound-alikes. But like Seven Mary 3 didn't have to pay Pearl Jam anything. They just put out music. They sounded very similar, but they didn't have to.
I think you're giving Seven Mary 3 a lot of credit in their abilities. Don't get me wrong. I like their stuff, but to say that they were the same level as Pearl Jam.
But when they came out, all right, listen. So I will say that the Lost Tapes of the 27 Club are the Seven Mary 3 of dead people releasing new music. It's close enough.
They didn't do anything, and now here we are dragging them in an AI debate.
They're listeners. They'll appreciate it. So, but that's a really good point. So it's off enough that it's not a cover and it's not sampling. It's just mimicking.
Well, what I said was a perfect example because I went out and actually used AI to get an overview of what it was, because what you're talking about is almost is pretty damn close to what happened in that song that Young Gravy did. Mm-hmm. So here's the overview. Young Gravy's song Betty Get Money samples and interpolates the 1987 song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
Yeah.
The song sample is not actually the original recording, but a recreation made from scratch to sound identical.
Really? Even the music was?
Yeah. The song's writers, Mike Stock, Matthew Aiken, and Pete Waterman, are credited as songwriters. Young Gravy and his team cleared the use of the underlying composition of the song, but did not use any of Astley's original recording. Because of this, it is not considered a sample, and neither Astley nor his label were involved in any deals. Astley sued Young Gravy for violating his right of publicity, claiming that the song closely mimicked his voice. However, the lawsuit was settled. So I don't really know what the actual outcome was, but that's pretty much what you're talking about.
Which means if you hear that song, you are not technically being rickrolled, even though it feels like it.
No, but yeah. I wonder, for somebody like Young Gravy, who's not really writing radio hits, that was his probably biggest radio hit, I wonder if the money him and his crew made was equal to or more than the lawyers they had to pay to fight Rick Astley and his group over the definition of what that sample is, even though it's not really him, but it is him kind of, but it's not.
Right. Well, okay. So the money aspect is a whole big can of worms, but if we take the money out of it, have you ever watched those videos? They're on, I think they're actually also on TikTok, but they're on the internet by an artist called, or a hashtag or whatever, called There I Ruined It.
No.
So There I Ruined It makes these songs, and they play, like, there's usually a video, and it shows the different wave files of him mixing two songs together that don't make sense. So like there's one that's a Christmas version of Get Low, and it's Get Low, but to the tune of like Let It Snow or something like that. And it's so hilarious. And
I do love the idea of Get Low as a Christmas song.
Yeah, it's great. And then there's like Simon and Garfunkel doing My Humps, and
I do know this. Yeah, I looked it up. I know exactly what it is.
Little thing that says There I Ruined It.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this guy he's a guy named Dustin Ballard, and he makes them. And he started during COVID-19, but he basically, someone interviewed him recently, and he said, I just use AI now because I used to do my own voices and try to disguise myself as these artists, but AI makes it so much easier. I can sing something and then put it into the AI and say, make me sound like Simon and Garfunkel, and boom, he sounds just like Simon and Garfunkel. It's creepy. So, he makes money off of hits, but he doesn't sell those. Like, those aren't, it's not a matter of I'm going to sue you because you make money off of my voice, because he doesn't, I don't think. I would argue he doesn't make money. But
I don't know. He has 2.2 million followers on Instagram. He probably makes a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's not as a direct, like, he doesn't sell those songs.
No.
He sells a joke, and they include those songs, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, he probably sells merch. I'm trying to find out, but yeah, he has 2.2 million followers on Instagram. There, I ruined it. Also followed by a couple of our peer podcasts, My Weekly Mixtape. Did I say that right? My Weekly Mixtape. That all came out as a weird word.
Mhm.
And the Story Song podcast. And
Oh,
then
cool.
the Nostalgia Test. All of them follow it too.
All right. So listen, I thought we would do something fun using AI because I've become a little addicted to Chatty, to ChatGPT.
Shocking.
I had a lot of fun just giving it ridiculous things to do and seeing how it never said, "Oh, can't do that." It never said, "I don't know, I need a little more information." It was always like, "Yep, here you go. It's perfect." And so what I did was I gave Chatty several pop songs and said, "Please describe these pop songs without using the title of the song or the artist, as if I were to guess what the song is, being as specific as possible without using the."
Is that what I have to do?
Yes.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to read you some of these songs, and I want you to try to guess based on, and again, I did not give Chatty any other information other than title artist. So I didn't say, talk about when it came out, I didn't give it any other information. So all of this stuff that you are going to hear, this AI gathered on its own.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the first one. This is a song that Chatty is going to describe as, "This energetic track begins with a powerful, iconic spoken introduction that encourages listeners to embrace a sense of liberation and abandon. The song's driving beat and infectious rhythm create an exhilarating atmosphere, inviting everyone to let loose and enjoy life's wild moments. The lyrics speak to overcoming life's challenges and not letting difficulties hold you back. The music blends elements of funk, rock, and pop, featuring a memorable guitar riff and a pulsating rhythm that get everyone moving. As the song progresses, it builds to a euphoric climax with a call to celebrate and dance, emphasizing themes of joy and unity. The track is celebrated for its dynamic and vibrant performance, making it a quintessential anthem for letting go and enjoying the present." Do you have any guesses yet?
Initially, I had a song come to mind, but I'm sure it's not that one. So I'm going to go with, is it Celebrate?
No, but you're on the right track. The song was released in this. Again, this is all stuff from Chatty. I didn't give them any of the information. The song was released in 1984 as part of an album that was both critically acclaimed and commercially successful. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the United States.
Is it Jump by Van Halen?
No.
Damn.
The opening monologue. The track begins with a memorable spoken word intro that encourages listeners to embrace life's challenges and live with enthusiasm. It was released as part of an album that served as the soundtrack to a highly successful film, which also featured the performer in a prominent role. So the singer had a role in this movie.
In this movie, it was from 1984.
The song blends elements of rock, funk, and pop, showcasing the performer's signature guitar work and vibrant rhythm.
So this,
do you have any guesses?
The singer it's in 1984. The singer, I'm all twisted on this one. I don't know. I have no idea.
The song is "Let's Go Crazy" by Prince.
Oh, dearly beloved.
And now that you hear that, you're like, wow, that is a really good description.
Witness this thing called life.
Yeah. All right. That was, we're shaking off the rust. This is a good start. We'll go.
I was trying to think of something. So the first song that came to mind, I don't know why, was Vogue by Madonna.
Oh.
But it doesn't really have a monologue at the beginning.
No.
But it is done in a very deadpan monotone for a while, and then it gets into, she actually sings a little bit. I don't know why that's the song it made me think of, but that was the first song that came to mind.
And sometimes when you have a song stuck in your head, it's hard to change your brain into thinking something else, because now you're probably the whole time thinking, will this
My brain is like, what are other songs that are like Vogue? And it's like, stop it, brain. That's not the song.
All right. Here's song number 2. Ready?
Song number 2.
This track is a prominent example of late 1980s hip hop, characterized by its funky beats and playful lyrics. The song features a prominent groovy bass line that sets the tone for its infectious rhythm. The music is driven by a catchy, upbeat melody with a blend of synthesized sounds and brass elements. The rhythm section is prominent with a steady drum beat that adds to the song's danceable quality. The lead vocals are delivered with a charismatic and humorous style. The rapper's delivery is smooth and rhythmic, often incorporating a playful tone that enhances the song's comedic elements. The lyrics tell a humorous and somewhat outrageous story about a fictional beverage with magical properties.
Funky Cold Medina, Tone Loc.
Yeah. Yes, you got it.
At first, I was like Wild Thing by Tone Loc. I'm like, he's explaining Wild Thing.
Nice job.
And then when
buddy.
you were like, fictional, I was like, is this DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince? Parents just don't understand. When you said fictional drink, I was like, Funky Cold Medina. That's it. Got it.
You did, yeah. So the song uses a comedic approach to discuss themes of attraction and social interaction. It plays with the idea of a magic drink that can alter people's behavior and romantic prospects, providing a satirical take on romantic pursuits. The fact that it can tell you that is a little scary.
So my question is thinking back to the song Funky Cold Medina, because that would have been what, 89? I'd have been
yes.
I'd have been 8th grade on the borderline of going into high school. And so Funky Cold Medina, that was played at like everything.
Yep.
Was he basing that on Spanish Fly?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
The legendary Spanish Fly, which I don't think I've ever seen. Is it? I mean, I'm going to ask something dumb here. I have the internet. I could look it up. But is Spanish Fly a real thing? Like, can you buy it? Is it out there? Or is it just this mythical thing that you can only get in like Tijuana or something?
I think it's out there, but I don't think it's commercially available.
Well, here, while you're going to the next thing, let me look this up on my tiny computer.
And I know the song, it didn't mention things. One thing when I was scrolling through, it doesn't mention the sampling. Honky Tonk Woman, I think. It didn't mention that. So it's not, it could have done that to give you a clue.
Holy cow.
What?
Spanish Fly has an official store.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Seriously, it's SpanishFly.com. It's available in both extra strong and tasteless versions, which if you have to tell me that means you should not own this if you're buying it for what I think you're buying it for, because you're probably going to be using it in not a up and up way.
I feel like they're both tasteless versions.
Experience a whole new sensation with the ones you love.
So the lead vocals are delivered with a distinctive gravelly voice, which is a hallmark of the artist known for this track. Now, it must steal from articles written about the song, right? Like
it's got to. It's this type of AI, this generative AI, this is not combing sound samples per se. At least I don't think so. It's combing the internet for every written article, mention, anything like that,
Right.
And then it is compiling it, and then it knows with all of the other things that have been compiled, because these generative AIs are large language learning models, LLMs. And so whatever you train it by, i.e. feed it, that's what it learns from and builds from. And I believe like ChatGPT 3 or 4 or whatever on, it has been fed things in the lab that it was, designed and built in, but it also combs the internet, I believe.
That's scary.
I'm not super up on all of these AI models. I should be, considering the career I'm in, but I really don't want them to work, because it's over time going to take away a bunch of the baseline creative work that people do.
Exactly. And that's the part that I'm scared about too, is that
like the part that you do to learn how to do all of these other things.
Yeah.
It's going to do that. So we don't need somebody to do that for us. But what it could create is people who become, for lack of a better term, artists with this stuff. So they know how to because ChatGPT isn't the only one. Microsoft has their own. It's called Copilot. Google has one. Amazon, I'm sure, is building one. They might be part of the ChatGPT group. So they're all building these large language model databases. Private companies are building their own right now because they don't want to accidentally get sued by accidentally using somebody else's information and plagiarizing inadvertently, and there's a lot of legal issues that are going to pop up because of this. So maybe you should become a ChatGPT lawyer.
I should. Maybe
not you. We're too late in life. We're done for.
Damn.
But our kids should do this. So,
all right, you ready for number 3?
I am.
Okay. This track is a classic example of a power ballad from the late 1980s, blending rock elements with a softer, more emotional delivery. It features a slow tempo and a prominent acoustic guitar arrangement.
Every rose has its thorn, poison.
How the hell did you know that?
How do you know I'm not ChatGPT?
Damn it. You're right. Absolutely.
Really?
Well done. Yeah, that was it. You got it.
It's the NASCAR hat, bro.
Now this one, content and message. The lyrics explore themes of love, heartache, and personal growth. The song reflects on a past romantic relationship and the pain of parting ways.
Yeah, because he could have saved a love that night if he'd just known what to say.
It uses the metaphor of a rose to illustrate the idea that beauty and love can come with their own set of challenges and sorrows. The song,
instead of making up, they just made their separate ways, Matt. It's so sad.
This one actually pulls some lyrics. It says the song features poignant lines such as "We both lie silently still in the dead of the night," and "Just like every rose has its thorn." These lines reflect the song's focus on the bittersweet nature of love and the inevitable pain that can accompany it. As if, Chatty, you know what any of that means, you heartless bastard.
And it's funny because you asked Chatty to not use lyrics from the song, I believe, or not use the title.
No, I said no title, no artist. I didn't say don't use lyrics, but I didn't say to use lyrics either.
But the title is the lyrics.
That's true.
And the lyrics are in the title.
Yeah.
But I guessed it. Just so everyone knows, I guessed it before he got to any of that part.
You did. You got it in the first sentence. That's impressive. There's so much more, but I'm not going to read all of it because you got it. You nailed it.
It is interesting. Like, because when you told me this is what we were going to do, I did not go to like any of these LLMs or, any of the chatties and ask it the way you did. I just said, describe X song. And it literally kicked out any review you've ever read in Rolling Stone, AP, any of the Pitchfork, any of those. It just kicked out a review of this. I'm like, if you printed this, if you didn't know anything about the 80s or early 90s, when our formative years, some would say, you would just think it was a review that somebody wrote. You would be none the wiser.
Right. Yeah. It's very convincing. All right. You ready for the next one?
I am.
This track is a prominent example of early 1990s pop music, incorporating elements of rock, pop, and dance. It features an upbeat, infectious rhythm. They use infectious rhythm a lot, Chatty. You're a little redundant. That's your crutch. That's Chatty's crutch. The fusion of diverse musical influences. The song begins with a powerful rhythmic guitar riff that sets a dynamic tone. It also includes a blend of drum beats, bass lines, and synthesized sounds, contributing to a vibrant and energetic sound. The use of a distinctive syncopated beat drives the song's rhythm and adds to its danceability quality. The lead vocals are delivered with a commanding and spirited style, featuring both smooth and powerful sections. The chorus is particularly memorable with a catchy melody and a message of unity and equality. The lyrics focus on themes of racial harmony and equality. The song's narrative emphasizes the idea that skin color should not matter and promotes a message of inclusiveness and togetherness. It addresses issues of prejudice and advocates for unity across different racial and cultural backgrounds.
Is it Black or White by Michael Jackson?
Yes. Yes, you got it.
I was like, I'm going through my head. I'm like, what are early 90s songs that would have done? And I was like, isn't there like a CNC Music Factory song that might have fit this? And then I'm like, well, is there, if for some reason Rhythm of the Night popped into my head? I'm like, no, that's not it. And then when you said, I forget what the trigger was. And I was like, oh, Black or White by Michael Jackson.
You got it. All right. I don't know if you winning is good for you or good for Chatty.
I think Chatty needs to step up its game if I'm winning. I mean, I am a borderline expert at a lot of this stuff.
That's true.
I wrote that in my own bio.
All right. Song number 5.
Hey, so before we get to song number 5, you asked earlier what songs were sampled in Funky Cold Medina.
Right.
And according to this internet's site, the site is genius.com, so why wouldn't it be, right? It's of course, right in the title. Funky Cold Medina samples Get Off Your Ass and Jam by Funkadelic.
Oh, I like that song.
Hot Blooded by Foreigner, which is an awesome song by itself. And my personal favorite in this whole thing, because it's about somebody who should probably go to jail. Okay. But it's called Christine 16 by Kiss.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know where that's at in the song, but it does say it sampled it.
So
but it says view all, so it's telling me there's more. No, that's it. Oh, and No. Lottie Dottie by Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew.
You know what I like about Get Off Your Ass and Jam?
What's that?
The chorus, or I guess you could really call it the chant, is shit, goddamn, get off your ass and jam.
I forgot. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's that song.
Wow.
You want to know? I didn't even know that song existed until God, who did I see in concert? And they were, it was, if I remember correctly, it was Warrant on their Dog Eat Dog tour.
Really?
When they came through and played Wendler Arena, like one of their interludes between their song, Janie Lane was just yelling shit. God damn, nice. Get off your ass and jam. And of course, they started playing around it, and every person in the crowd started chanting. And I was like 17. I was just like, yeah,
it's the
shit,
best moment
God
ever.
Damn, get off your ass. And I had no idea what it was all about till later on in life.
All right. Song number 5.
Song number 5.
This track is an example of ska punk.
Okay, that helps.
Blending elements of ska music with punk rock influences. It features an energetic and upbeat rhythm with a mix of brass and guitar-driven sounds. The song prominently features a lively brass section, including trumpets and trombones, which provides a characteristic ska sound. The rhythm section is driven by a fast-paced drum beat and a punchy bass line. Electric guitars add to the song's dynamic quality with a mix of ska rhythms and punk rock intensity. The lead vocals are delivered with a distinctive, playful style, often characterized by a humorous and somewhat exaggerated tone. The vocal performances match the energetic and upbeat nature of the music. Now we're in content and message. The lyrics are centered around a whimsical and humorous narrative involving a fictional or exaggerated character related to the theme of tuna. The lyrics are playful and comedic, often incorporating puns and wordplay related to
I know this one.
You do?
They actually played in Saginaw this summer. I didn't get to go because I was out of town. It's Bumblebee Tuna by Mephistopheles.
Yes, it is.
They played at White's Bar, but they played here, and I missed it.
Oh, that's a bummer. I play that all the time in my office to make everybody mad.
Oh, when I've played it at work and people like it.
I think it's maybe the amount of times I play it.
Yeah, I've known you for a while. That checks out.
All right. Well, you got that one. That was good. I mean, arguably the tuna gave it away, but I would also argue that most people would say there's no way there's a song that's written about tuna unless you worked at RadioX.
Now my guesses for that song before you got to the content part of it was my first thought was Here in Your Bedroom by Goldfinger.
Good. Like that.
My second one was I was going through my head. I'm like, what song by Real Big Fish is this?
It could be any of them.
It could be any of them. And I was like, it could be the song Beer. I mean, it was upbeat, but it was not technically an upbeat song. It could have been Everyone Else is an Asshole.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been, I don't know. It could have been a lot of songs, but those are my first two guesses was either Goldfinger or A Real Big Fish, considering the time period I think you were going for. And I was kind of right with Mephistopheles being it. Yep. They all kind of hit in the same period.
Right in that window. You're exactly right. All right. So I have one more song. One more.
All right. One more song.
You are doing well. I think you've got every single one right.
I didn't get the first one.
I missed the first one, but you're still going to win. So song number 6. This track is a classic example of early 1990s hip-hop and rap, characterized by its upbeat tempo and distinctive bass line. It features a prominent, funky rhythm with elements of dance and rap music. The song is driven by a memorable bass line that is both deep and rhythmic. It includes a mix of hip-hop beats and samples, with a prominent use of horns and other synthesized sounds that contribute to its energetic and catchy feel. The lead vocals are delivered with a charismatic and humorous style, incorporating a mix of rap, verses, and a catchy, memorable chorus. The rapper's delivery is confident and playful, reflecting the song's lighthearted and entertaining nature. Now we're getting to lyrical themes. This is when you
hold on. Is it Groove is in the Heart by?
No, but I love that song.
Okay.
The lyrics focus on themes of physical attraction and body positivity, with a specific emphasis on celebrating curvaceous body types.
I got it. Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yes! You are a winner, sir. Well done.
Man, I bought that cassette as soon as it came out. I loved that. I wore that cassette out.
Now, see, I also had the cassette, but I had the cassette single with Cake Boy as the B-side.
Cake Boy. I did not have the single, as they called them.
Yeah, I had the single.
I wonder what you would put in there if you did a square dance rap by that one. I wonder how it would explain the lyrics and the delivery of that.
But don't you? And I don't know. But don't you think it's weird? Like the one that I use is a free version. Like I didn't pay a bunch of money to register and make like log into a thing. It's just the free Chat GPT.
Or Chatty, as we like to say.
Yeah, it's the free Chatty. It has so much access to everything. It's a very robust search engine, I guess, in a manner of speaking, to be able to get, like, it includes the Billboard Hot 100 charts. It includes, the memorable lyrics. This one lists some of the lyrics to Baby Got Back. And it really is thorough. You know what I mean?
I would like to hear a Chat GPT generated voice just yell out, "I like big butts and I cannot lie."
That would be cool.
but like it was trying to be convincing, but it was very unconvincing.
So like it would say it very robotic, or it would try not to be robotic, but it obviously still sounds robotic.
Yeah, like it was trying to not be itself, but totally sounded like a robot doing it.
Yeah, like C-3PO.
Yeah, or yeah. Not R2-D2, because it would just be beeps and loops.
Yeah, that would be hard to understand. All right, well, those are all the songs I had. I feel like this is telling us that robots are going to soon take over because they can describe songs just as well or maybe better than we could. And it was under certain parameters. Like if a human were to describe a song, they would really, I know this sounds dumb to say, but they would really humanize it. This is for a robot to be able to
personalize might be the word you're looking for.
Well, yeah, they would make it, they would say stuff like, oh, it has like, how it talks about blah, 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 blah. Like it would cut to the chase as far as like
there would be weird
elements.
emphases on it, because it would be an emphasis that was important to that person who was talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So a robot has to describe the whole song and be thorough from start to finish. Tone, tempo, instrumentation, lyrical content. We would say, that song about butts, and then you'd be like, oh yeah.
Or like if the people who work either for or with you, if I said, hey, describe Bumblebee Tuna by Mephistopheles, they're gonna be like, oh, you mean that annoying ass song that our boss plays all the time but he thinks it's cool? It's like a ska song and they talk about tuna. Like that's the explanation you would get out of somebody like that. Exactly. It wouldn't be what you get from a robot. That
would creep me out if I had Chatty describe that song and it said, that song that you play a lot in your office. I would throw my computer away.
You'd go home. You'd be like, dear, all of the computers are gone. We're now Amish.
We're moving to the
kids'
woods.
Straw hats. We're moving to the woods. I'm building a barn. We're all done. Next time you get to have fun, boys, rum Springer. That's it.
Bury all the tiny robots in the ground.
Yeah. I just use muskets now and a hatchet to provide the food.
Oh man.
It's scary. It's scary enough that when you're using your phone, which is, we call it a phone, but it's not a phone. No, rarely do people use it as a phone.
Right.
Unless you're calling me about information for a PA system, then it's a phone.
Which worked great, by the way. Thank you.
And I was completely shocked. I didn't even answer the phone. Hey, Matt, what's up? I was like, the hell are you calling me for?
You're using this as a phone?
You're using this as a phone? And he's like, yeah, hello?
Does this part still work? I was just checking.
I haven't used it in so long. But yeah, I'm glad the PA system worked for you. I'm glad it all worked out. But so to bring this full circle to the question you asked at the beginning about essentially AI and radio. And if you're just going to run your local station or your national station as a jukebox and try to compete with things like, I don't know, people's iPhones or Android phones and their playlists on their phones, or their Spotify account or their Tidal account or their Amazon Music account or their Apple Music account, I have a hard time believing that radio, as we know it today, will last a whole hell of a lot longer if that's your competition, because you are never going to beat my playlist because I know exactly what I want to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, the algorithm will tell me things like on Spotify, it'll feed me stuff that is similar to what I'm listening to. And a lot of times I like it. So I continue to go on. I'll give you an example of that. There's a group, I went and saw a concert not too long ago. We saw the Struts,
Mm-hmm.
and a group opening for them was called Barnes Courtney. Barnes Courtney's fantastic.
Yeah.
Total rock and roll band. But their bass player, his name is Jermaine, like Jackson, but he's not Jermaine Jackson.
Got it.
And God, I hope I got his name right. Otherwise, you just have to axe this whole part.
Okay.
But he has his own project called The South.
Okay.
And Mark from Songs That Don't Suck podcast is the one who kind of, whether he realized it or not, he keyed me onto this, and I was checking it out and I was listening to his album. It was good. But once it got to the end of his album, it kept playing songs that were similar to the album.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize his album had ended. It was playing songs so similar. I was just like, wow, this is a really long album. And it was so good. It just played more music that sounded like the album.
And you liked I
liked all of it.
Wow.
Which is awesome and scary all at the same time. But where I was completely going with this, my adult ADD kicked in and I went completely sideways on this, is if you're running a radio station, this is my opinion, but I'm probably right, and you're just trying to be a jukebox, you're not long for you're going to have to sell. You're going to have to do something to generate revenue, because nobody's going to listen to that in the long run. Maybe in an office, maybe in a bar or something like that. How you're going to have to stay relevant as a radio station and bring in new listeners is you're going to have to let these younger folks, one, participate in it, one, and two, you're going to have to let them create. These folks who coming up are creators. Look at the internet, look at YouTube, look at Instagram, look at TikTok, look at all of that stuff. Previously Vine, all of those things. These folks are creators. You have to take that energy and put it on your station.
Yeah.
And that will keep you local, which is a big, important part of radio. That's kind of, I mean, it's there to sell soap originally, if you know your history, but it's also there to do local things. So you get your local content creators and you let them have at it on your radio station. Now you got to put some guardrails up because, you do have to follow FCC rules and those type of things. But if you want to be successful long-term on a local level, you have to have local people doing it. Why do you think local news and talk stations are outlasting? Now, I have no data to back this up. This is just me listening to things. Our local news and talk radio station has been a similar format and idea for years, and they've topped everything because the one thing they have that a lot of the other stations don't have, at least not all day, they have local people in the studio doing things, giving information in a timely fashion, getting out there. I mean, they do have syndicated talk shows, but when those breaks hit, they're not just running local avails of commercials. They're breaking in with local news, local happenings, local stuff. And then they're reading, they're playing commercials and things like that, but they're actually doing it local. They're not just taking the complete national feed and letting it run. They're actually programming the station.
Yeah, I agree. So those robots that are listening now, you need to hire creatives. You can't just be doing it all yourself. You need at least one or two creative tools in your toolbox.
You need to have sales and you need to have programming because you're going to need some organization. Creatives aren't usually the greatest at being organized and doing a whole business type. Some are very gifted. But you need the creatives to create the content, and you need the sales folks to be able to monetize that content because you got to have money to keep the station on the air.
All right.
They have to work together.
Yeah.
And as you and I have seen, and I'm sure many other people is, who gets, your morning team will get the big chunk because morning drive is still, even though things are kind of changing, morning drive is still, especially on the FM side, the number one time of day that they're going to do things. And sales are the people who do it. So those are your two things that usually get the heavy emphasis. And then the rest of the days are like whatever sales can. You got to have those creatives working with sales to do the rest of the time. That's my opinion for what it's worth. I feel like that part on Family Guy. You want to know what grinds my gears?
So, I had one more thing that I had ChatGPT do. So,
Okay.
When we say goodbye to Chatty, I actually had Chatty write up a goodbye for the podcast to say, see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I said is wrap up the podcast for us in one paragraph using as many song lyrics as you could.
Oh boy.
So, are you ready for this?
Hit me.
As we reach the final curtain call, it's clear we're saying, I'm going to miss you when you're gone, echoing the bittersweet farewell of somebody that I used to know. It's been a long and winding road getting here, but just like Don't Stop Believin', keep those dreams alive as we part ways. Though it's time to say goodbye, remember that every little thing she does is magic. And our time together has been nothing short of enchanting. Until next time, I will always love you, and we'll catch you on the flip side as we ride off into the sunset of Sweet Child O' Mine. What the damn hell crap?
I'm not sure if we ended the podcast or if we just broke up. I'm really not sure what happened there. Just
ride off into the sunset of Sweet Child O' Mine? That doesn't even make sense. Stupid robot.
Our socials is XRadioX podcast at XRadioX_podcast. That's on Instagram, and you can also catch us on Threads at the exact same thing.
Also available on Twitter at XRadioX1. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy what you listen to, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your friends' family, and your friends' families' friends.
Send it to your enemies.
Yeah.
Can't
tell
hurt.
all the robots you know, and that'll get word out.
Still don't know how to end it, do we?
As always, I'm Matt.
I'm Jace.
Thanks for listening. It's
XRadioX. Looking for the best mix of hits? It's all right here on XRadioX. From classic bangers to the latest chart toppers, we've got your soundtrack covered 24/7. Download the XRadioX app now and take the music with you wherever you go. Whether you're on the road, at work, or chilling at home, turn it up with XRadioX. Music your way.
Wow. And rip off the knob.
Turn those dials to 11 and rip off the knob. Down at Thunder Valley, we'll have all the Titans of Crash, the Dukes of Dash. It's $10 for a whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Lasers.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.